Hi, I'm Nathan Shively-Sanders, and today I want to show you how to minify a repro from a full package or full project down to like 10 lines of code that clearly shows off what the bug is. And this is something we have to do on the Typescript team. It might be useful for other people, but I'm going to give you a very Typescript team-centric view of how this works. So during the development of 5.4, we have this bot that tests random GitHub projects, not random, but popular GitHub projects, and reports on compile errors using the new compiler. So in this case, we were comparing 5.4 with 5.3, and 5.4 was in development at the time. And as you can see, there were quite a few failures for this particular run. We all sort of farmed it out, and each person took one. I ended up with a particularly tricky one because it actually has two problems. This one 56004 shows up quite a bit and turned out to be something we needed to refine a little bit, I think. But using git bisect, I found out there was another error too. So there's actually two sets of errors. You can see here, there's this error, that's the one that everybody ran into, not everybody, but many people ran into on other projects. And then there's this one over here that's only with this project. So what I wanted to do is figure out what's going wrong with this particular error and try to create a small repro so that it's easy to figure out, well, why is this different from all the other projects? Okay, and step one of that is actually just to clone the repo. So I'm going to have a terminal open over here. So I'm in just a temporary directory where I clone stuff, and I want to git clone GitHub. builder.io/quick.git. Okay, so in real life, this would actually go off and clone it. I've actually already cloned it, so I don't actually need, it's fast for the video. So inside of Quick, we need to figure out how to get it installed and building. But first, actually, because this has been a couple of months, this was January 21st, I want to check out a commit closer to January 21st. So I'm going to do git log. Depending on how long you wait before addressing a repo, you might not need to do this, but in this case, I'm going to just zoom back through time and choose something around January 21st. February 9th, okay. 26th, 25th. There's something in 21st. That's probably good. So let's grab that and check that out. All right, so then I'm going to look around a little bit and try to figure out how to install dependencies and build this. And pretty quickly I see we have a pnpm lock, which means I need to do pnpm I. And again, in real life, this would take a while. Looks like this might still take a while here. That wasn't too bad, 7 seconds. And then we want to look at package lock. Let's actually open that in Visual Studio Code. So, package JSON. So we've got a ton of stuff in the scripts here. There's something called TSM, which I don't know what it is, but it kind of looks like it's probably a wrapper for TSC that does a bunch of other stuff, I'd guess, like packaging maybe. I'm not really sure. So I'm scrolling through here, I don't really see anything super obvious. There is a tsc.check, which seems to imply that you can just run tsc with no omit. The odd thing about this one is I see packages over here, which usually implies it's a monorepo. Let's see if there's more than one. Yeah, there's a bunch of ts configs. So I'm actually going to try tsc-b. And because I haven't changed the code, I'm actually going to put a -f on there to make sure I'm getting the most recent TSC, most recent rebuild, because TSC-B is smart and doesn't do any work if there's nothing to do. And since that's the latest TypeScript, I would actually expect not to see any errors. Yeah, so what we're going to do next is go back and build a local TypeScript that, for the bad commit. So yeah, let's go do that now, actually. So here we are. Like I said, I used git bisect, which I'm not going to do a git bisect tutorial. I hope that there's good ones out there. haven't gone looking. But I found the bad commit here. So that's 56598. And then down here at the bottom, let's see, there's the commit. So I'm going to grab that, take it over here in the terminal. So I'm going to go over to, actually let's use push T for that. We want to check out this commit here. And then Typescript uses npm, so I'm going to do npm CI. All right, so we're ready to build. So normally, why don't we build just TSC, because that'll be faster. So this takes a little while. Oh, it doesn't take a little while. That was nice and fast. Okay, so we have a version of TSC up and running. So now we should go back here. Sorry, go back to quick and run tsl-b-f. So this is, TSL is just an alias that runs TSC, but it's, you know, /ts/build/local version. It's just the version I just built. I should see 4 errors here. I should see the one that's from the known error that everybody else ran into, this one, 56004, and I should see 3 errors from this one. Yeah, right here. So I should see 3 from that one. Let's see what we got. Good, 4 errors. So there's the one that is a known quantity that's already been identified, and then there's a bunch of spew from this stuff, but there's 3 of them, so that's the important part. Okay, so this is where it gets a little fiddly. So what we want to do back in TypeScript land is we want to, let's just do hereby, that builds the TS server as well. We want to make sure we have a broken version in our editor as well. Okay, so let's go back to the thing, it was useon.ts. Yeah, okay, great. So we want to go to useon and make sure we're actually using the latest version. So let's double check. So we have, there we go, select version. You want to make sure you're using the version that's in built local, which I am. And then just to make sure, I'm going to restart the TS server and make sure the errors show up. Okay, good. We have the 3 errors that are showing up properly. In the terminal, we saw the 3 errors also. So now what we want to do is have essentially a bad version running in the editor and a good version running in the console, the terminal. And that'll let us compare the two so that we can make changes. We can make changes back here and maintain the error that's showing up, and we can simplify the code and make sure that the error still shows up, while jumping back to the terminal to check ourselves to make sure that we haven't reintroduced the error for old versions of TypeScript, because there's a lot of stuff here where the error is so complicated that really the problem is that something is getting hidden, and if you unhide it, then you're not reproducing the right thing anymore if it's broken for both old and new TypeScript. So the way to do this is we look at the git log again, and we just grab the previous commit. So this should be the good commit without the problem because we use git bisect. So we check that out. And now I'm just going to do hereby TSC. So I'm going to not rebuild TS server. So hereby rebuilds TSC and TS server. Hereby TSC rebuilds only TSC. And once that's done, we'll jump back into quick from the terminal and make sure that we make sure that we no longer have the errors in the terminal. We still have them here. Should no longer have them here. And that way you can keep yourself honest to make sure that you haven't broken the reproduction. You haven't destroyed your bug in some way. And indeed, we only have 1 error. So we're in a good place to start work here. I'm going to leave that for part 2, but in part 2 we'll start gathering all of the pieces of code in one place.